The Morgan Report is sponsored by El Tigre Silver Corps, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol ELS.V. El Tigre Silver Corps is a new startup silver company located in the prolific northeastern Sonora state of Mexico. David Morgan is an expert on silver, gold, and precious metals investments. He's a world-renowned lecturer appearing on CNBC and the Fox Business Channel. He's an author, having penned Get the Skinny on Silver Investing. And Mr. Morgan is a regular contributor and friend of the Ellis Martin Report. David, welcome again to the program.
Ellis, it's great to be with you.
Has the summer of 2010 thrown you any surprises across the market?
It has. I know the seasonality, and I was, I think, one of the first to put it out on the internet so many years ago. And, there's several adages. The best known is probably sell the 1st of May and come back after Labor Day. The summer doldrums, as I've referred to it many times, the seasonality is very, very clear. The metals are normally weak in the summer, and a low usually occurs in August. And it looks as if that's going to be the case again this year. At the beginning of the summer, I was concerned with all that was going on in the fundamental analysis, meaning with the euro crisis, what was going on with noise between Iraq and Iran, and several other what I call wild cards. And it looked like, in fact, the market was signaling a chance of a breakaway move to the upside. And this would be where there was, a brief flurry of panic buying, especially in the physical market due to, at that time, the euro crisis. The market definitely signaled that. Unfortunately, for those of us that were trading on that basis, and from the technicals, not just the fundamentals, myself particularly, is it just didn't catch much momentum. In other words, it broke through the 1250 level in gold, and it held up very strong during the options expiration, and yet there was no follow-through. So I exited the trade very quickly and took a very small loss. Since that time, we've gone through another month, and we had options expiration here this week on Tuesday, and both metals got clobbered. They got creamed. They got taken down as they normally do on options expiration. And that shows, the market is back to what I call quote-unquote normal conditions. That doesn't mean that the powers that be aren't in there just really, really banging the market and the paper side of things to drive the price to the low on the options expiration date so that they can collect the premium, because you can set your watch on that. I mean, almost every time you're going to see the same type of pattern. However, if you look at the overall long-term trend, what you see is we're still in uptrends for both metals, and I'm different than some of these guys as far as the analysis of the manipulation side of things. Can markets be manipulated? Yes. Are gold and silver manipulated? Yes. However, you cannot manipulate the main trend, and the main trend is your friend. Gold's been in a major uptrend since roughly 2000. Silver's been in a major uptrend since 2003. And even as bad as silver got whacked during the 2008 financial debacle or financial crisis, it still kissed or touched the major uptrend line. So it did test it, but it tested it and bounced right off it, and it's back up substantially from that point in time. So the major trends are still intact. So regardless of who you adhere to, whether it be some of the Elliott Wave people or some of the deflationists or whomever, a fact is a fact. You can certainly have your own opinion, but the facts are simple. Both gold and silver are still in major uptrends and have been so for at least a decade. And that's a fact. So if you're worried about, are we going higher or lower, the trend continues until it actually stops. Right now, the trend is continuing.
Well, this particular week, silver is looking very good with some sustained growth during a typically slow season, as you've described. Do you see silver outpacing gold in the long term?
Absolutely, in the long term. I, again, caution everybody that these markets move erratically. And when you look back into history and you see what happened in the last bull market, a lot of people really aren't that studied on the past, and that's okay. But they have their ideas about what this market should be doing. Markets do what markets do. But if we use the last bull market as an example of what would probably happen in this bull market, silver really didn't outpace gold until the panic buying euphoric phase of the market. And at that time, silver really overtook gold on a percentage basis. And that's pretty much what I expect this time around. And I want to be cautious here when I say pretty much expect, because the fundamentals for silver are superior to gold. And a lot of problems in the gold market are starting to come into the mainstream press. You know, this gold tungsten situation where for a while you were reading a lot about tungsten being gold plated. I didn't blow that off. I pay attention to everything, but I'm a show me, don't tell me kind of a guy. Well, one of my friends showed me actual bars that were on YouTube, and I posted this on Twitter on our feed, these bars that were tungsten and gold plated. And it shows the whole process. Unfortunately, the film is in German, although there are some subtitles, so you get a pretty good feel if you're, speaking English about what's really going on. So, it only takes one case to prove it. We really don't know how much there is. What we do know is that it does exist. That's a fact. The second thing, of course, is always this confiscation thing. If anything's going to be confiscated, it's going to be gold, but I doubt that. I doubt that very much. I mean, how much of a chance do we have? In my view, in my opinion, probably less than a 1% chance. Silver, I just don't see it being confiscated at all. I give it almost a 0% chance. It'd be stupid to say that there isn't any, but it would do no good. I mean, if any government confiscated silver, what are they going to do? They'd have to put the price at, $1 million an ounce to do anything in the monetary system. No one's going to remonetize silver voluntarily. If we go back to some type of new monetary standard, I doubt silver will be in it. So the safest thing, if you're worried about confiscation, is probably silver over gold, and gold is not a worry to me. So, if it's a concern to you, then you should, consider that in your analysis on what you should buy. I consider the fact that gold is probably a lot more stable long-term than silver. I don't think you'll get the gains over the long term that you will, but I think everyone should own both metals. They have different purposes, really. Silver is sort of like a NASDAQ stock that's a high flyer, whereas gold is more like a Dow, blue chip that's kind of a steady eddy. And if you have both in the proper mix based on your age and your risk tolerance, you've actually got a better metals portfolio than you would have with just one or the other.
Well, you have a connection to a website called silver123.net. Let's talk about that and acquiring bullion.
Well, this was started by some friends of mine. I know them quite well, and has been vetted thoroughly by me. And what I really like about it is a couple things. One is you can dollar cost average, and two, it's very user-friendly. Once you set up your account, you accumulate silver over time, and you can take delivery on a monthly basis. So it doesn't really get better than that as far as I'm concerned. I'm in it myself. I really like it. I think it's something that anyone that wants to acquire silver, and is of modest means or not, it's certainly one of the people that signed up for this account, putting in a substantial amount on a monthly basis, and good for them. But you don't have to. I mean, you can start, I think, as little as $50 a month with this program, and you can change it around. You can stop it at any time. It's very user-friendly, and I really, really like it. I wish basically that more people were aware of it, because this is a question I've gotten over the years, is like, is there any kind of savings plan for silver? And the answer used to be no, but the answer now is yes, there is.
David Morgan, the silver guru, an expert on silver, precious metals, money, and mining, and a partner in the website silver123.net. Thanks again for joining us today on The Report.
Ellis, my pleasure.
The Morgan Report has been sponsored by El Tigre Silver Corps, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol ELS.V. El Tigre Silver Corps is a new startup silver company located in the prolific northeastern Sonora state of Mexico.